Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, and today I'm going to be talking about the Oregon Ducks 2020 football schedule. The Ducks last year had a record of overall 12-2. They won the Pac-12 championship, and they won the Rose Bowl game. So overall, it was a great season for the Ducks. They definitely have improved over the offseason so far, and it looks like they're going to be a serious contender to win or to make the college football playoff next season. They look like they're going to have a very good football team. They should have a great defense, a great offensive line with Penei Sewell. You know, Justin Herbert's leaving, but Tyler Shaw is supposed to be a pretty good quarterback, and I think he'll get that starting job. And Oregon has plenty of weapons too, and an absolutely great recruiting class, and a pretty good coaching staff. So overall, Oregon has a lot to look forward to. They're a pretty good football team overall. The first glance at their schedule, you can see there's one game that really stands out, and there's a couple other ones that could be challenges, but there's one game that mainly stands out that's going to be a big one. I'm going to break down game by game, just give my overall record prediction at the end of the video, but let's get into it. Starting out with North Dakota State. Usually teams don't like to schedule this school because this school has been known to take down big-time opponents. It took down Iowa in Kinnick Stadium when Iowa was a top 15 team. So this school can definitely beat big-name schools, and I'm sure North Dakota State is already probably preparing for this one. They're a very good football school. They have pretty good recruiting classes in the FCS. I think this could be an intriguing matchup. I'm taking the Ducks at home, but you know North Dakota State has given a whole lot of teams a lot of trouble. But I'll take the Ducks here. It's a home game. They're more talented overall, but you know that North Dakota State is definitely a school that can upset the big schools. Number 2, Ohio State, biggest game of the season. This one's going to be big. You look at Oregon's non-conference schedule, it's actually pretty good. But Ohio State, the biggest game of the year by far. Ohio State's going to be a playoff contender like Oregon next year. Talent-wise, I think Ohio State has the edge. You look at them, they have the better quarterback in my opinion with Justin Fields. He's experienced. They have a pretty good wide receiver core. They've got all kinds of guys. Just Garrett Wilson's one of them, Chris Olave, and they've got plenty of other weapons. They also have Jeremy Rucker at the tight end position, and a okay defense. Definitely losing Chase Young and Jeff Okudah is going to hurt, but still overall, the defense should be pretty good. They have a great recruiting class and a great coaching staff. So this is going to be hard for Oregon. It is a home game. That's what is going to help them be in this game. If it was at Ohio State, I would say definitely Ohio State by maybe 14 points. But it's a home game for Oregon. Oregon's never beaten Ohio State. I think it's going to be a close game. I really do. I think it'll go back and forth. But I'm taking the Buckeyes to win by maybe 7 points, something like that. I think Oregon definitely has a good chance of still winning that game this upcoming season. In the year after that, when they go into the horseshoe, they'll be even better in 2021. But I don't think they beat Ohio State this upcoming season. 3, Hawaii should be a manageable game. Not a terrible team. They were the Mountain West runner-up last year, Hawaii. But this should definitely be a win for Oregon. At Colorado may have improved a little bit over the off season, but they lost their head coach Mel Tucker. They probably won't be very good. I'll take the Ducks here. 5, Washington, big rivalry game. It was pretty close last year. I think Washington was out to a pretty early lead, but Oregon came back towards the end of the game and won. Washington has consistently been a pretty good football team and has consistently been a contender to win the Pac-12 North each year. However, they're losing quarterback Jacob Eason. He was a big reason why they had some success last year. And they're losing head coach Chris Peterson, who's absolutely amazing. Losing those two is going to hurt them. I think they're weaker. I understand they have a great recruiting class. That helps. But it's in Oregon. Tough place to play. Washington, in my opinion, is not as talented as the Ducks. So I'll take Washington here. I'll take Oregon. Sorry, I'll take Oregon. All right, so they start out 4-1. I don't think that's bad. North Dakota State, they could give them a challenge. So I think, winning there would be a big win. Washington, that's a big win. And I think they play pretty good against Ohio State. So starting 4-1 would not be that bad in my opinion. The bye week comes at an okay time, right before California and Stanford. In my opinion, those two schools are pretty easy wins. Playing at California could be a little bit of a challenge, but I do think they're the better team in both of those games. I think the Ducks win those two. At Arizona, this could be it's at Arizona, and we saw the Ducks last year at Arizona State had a tough time, so maybe the travel hurts them because it is a far travel. I'm taking the Ducks; they're much more talented overall, but it could be a trap game. Definitely could be a trap game because it's right before two big opponents in USC and Arizona State. USC had a ton of injuries last time they played Oregon. I think that hurt them. For this upcoming season, though, USC has a terrible recruiting class. I'll admit they have a lot of returning talent, but just a terrible recruiting class in my opinion. Oregon's got a great recruiting class and a lot of returning talent. I think the defense will shut USC down. I'm taking the Ducks in this one. Arizona State, big revenge game. I have Arizona State as my sleeper to win the Pac-12 South, so I definitely think there's a chance that these two face off twice next year. Arizona State, I think, got a great coaching staff, obviously, with head coach Herm Edwards. I think they could definitely put up a fight, but Oregon's going to be wanting revenge. They're more talented. I think they get it done here against the Sun Devils, so I have the Ducks winning. At Washington State, Leach left Washington State. I think that's going to hurt him quite a lot. Pullman's not an easy place to play, I'll admit that. I believe the Ducks lost the last time they played in Pullman. I might be wrong, but I believe they won. Or they lost. Sorry, they lost, yeah. So, going to be a tough game for Oregon. Tough place to play. I'm taking the Ducks just because, losing Mike Leach hurts. I think they're definitely going to be worse than they were last year. But it could definitely be a game where Washington State puts up a fight. Oregon didn't play its best game against Oregon State last year. Oregon State gave them a big challenge. This rivalry is also known as the Civil War. I don't expect Oregon State to give Oregon much of a challenge. I really don't. So I have them winning that game. So overall, I have the Ducks at 11-1 for the regular season. That one loss comes to Ohio State, but I still think they get some big time wins. They beat USC, who's probably a ranked team, and maybe even Arizona State's a ranked team. So they might have one or two ranked wins for this upcoming season, which is pretty good. And they'll probably win the Pac-12 championship and go to a big bowl game. Unfortunately for the Ducks, I don't think that's enough at 12-1, losing to Ohio State to make the playoff. I know it sounds crazy, but just because, the SEC teams, Georgia and Alabama, have so many opportunities to get big wins. Clemson's probably going to be undefeated, and there's, I just feel like those two SEC teams, it's going to be tough to pass them in the rankings. So I have Oregon just missing the playoff, maybe like at the 5 spot, but overall, I mean, it's pretty good, 11-1, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Their one loss comes out of conference. I think they go undefeated in conference play. I really think that's pretty good. For 2021, we'll see how they do. Maybe they beat Ohio State then in the horseshoe. We'll see. But the Ducks are definitely improving, slowly improving, and I do think they have a great shot at becoming, a national title contender in a few years. I think if they made the playoff this year, they wouldn't necessarily be ready, but in a few years they're going to be on that level, in my opinion, that teams like maybe Clemson are on, or Ohio State, or Alabama. But right now, I have my 11-1, just that loss to Ohio State. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for joining in. Please make sure to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. But yeah, I have Oregon beating everybody except Ohio State and getting revenge on like Arizona State, the team they lost to last year. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you for joining in.